We are back. We are back. If you heard some silence, yes, there was silence. It was the sounds of silence. Hard to believe. I guess if you do something long enough, sometimes you repeat things. In the 20-some years I've been here, a little over 20 years, this is the second time now where there's a little button here that says, do not touch. I was curious. I touched it, okay? Fortunately, I only put us off the air for a few minutes. Last time I did it, it was for most of the overnight. Somehow I turned the transmitter off back some years ago, and I made the mistake again today. I have a feeling I'm going to get in trouble for this, won't I? I'm going to have to blame somebody for this. But you know what they're going to say? Listen, Hartford, you did it back in 97. We know it was you. You touched the button that said do not touch, didn't you? And what am I going to do? Lie? So anyway, we're back now. Welcome everybody. As we enter the last 25 minutes of the show. You know, you build 1,000 bridges, and you knock your station off the air twice in a career. What are you going to do, huh? Well, third time's a charm. Isn't that what they say? Gosh. Anyway, I was just reading a story. Last week, remember we were talking about the boxer Hector Macho Camacho, whatever, and he was shot in the face earlier in the week, and he was brain dead, and his mother had to decide whether to take him off life support, and she did, and he died. And they had the funeral the other day, and there's a video of this if you wish to see this. They had a 2-day viewing ceremony, and it turned into a fight for the fight. He was down in Puerto Rico. A former girlfriend, Gloria Fernandez, was sitting with his sisters, and she became extremely angry when another woman, Cynthia Castillo, who's 28, she came in. She was wearing a pink T-shirt with the boxer's face on the front. She leaned down, kissed the fallen boxer in his casket, and then she entered the family's private section. It says Camacho's sisters supposedly told this woman to leave, but however, rather than leave, it started a fight. The two women began exchanging slaps and punches. They somehow ended up outside the viewing room. They called police. And then two of the sisters, Esther and Estrella, started going at it again. All these women. It was one heck of a cat fight. And while all this was going on, there were still visitors, continuing to pay their respects. A solemn occasion it was. Alan in Naperville. Good morning, Alan.
Hey, Jake. I got to tell you, when I come home in the morning, I automatically have WLS on because I love to listen to you.
Which is a good thing to do, yes.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, man, that radio silence is very innovative. I really like it. You got to do it more. They ought to promote you.
You really think?
More radio silence on WLS, your revenues will go through the roof.
Well, you know, I have an emergency backup. To play, like if this ever happens again. Let's see if I can get this. Maybe not. Let's see.
Yeah.
See, now I can't get this button to work. There we go. This is what we'll play next time. So when you hear this, you'll know, hey, there's something wrong with the transmitter. Jake screwed up again.
I got to tell you, I was alone with my thoughts in the car, tuned to WLS, and it was just
hear this?
wonderful.
You hear this? See? When you start hearing that part, that tells you we're 30 seconds into the transmitter problems.
Yeah, you've definitely come up with a new concept. You're a pioneer. You're cutting-edge radio, Jake. Go for it.
Thank you, Alan. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Elaine in Naperville. Good morning, Elaine.
Jake, what do you think this is, your birthday?
If it is.
You can do these special things anytime you want.
Oh, I don't think putting the station off the air, you can do that at any time.
Well, did they put the button too close to you?
I had to lean over.
Oh.
I was curious, because when something says do not touch,
Yeah, I know.
aren't you always tempted to touch?
That's because you were born a boy.
I tell my wife that all the time. I said, the more you say do not touch, the more I want to touch.
I know. Have a good one.
Thank you, Elaine. Yeah, she doesn't get it either. Yeah, well, it was okay. It's my fault. I'll take the blame. I don't care. Although if by Monday I can figure out a way of blaming John, I will. Monday's show, by the way, starting at 9 o'clock, we have a lot of stuff scheduled. And either Monday or Tuesday, John had this great idea. There's this new concept out that doctors are doing. It's the mustache transplant. I didn't know there was such a thing, but apparently there is. So there is such a thing as a mustache transplant. We may be talking about that this Monday at 9. Bill and Joliet. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Jake. Thinking of a way to save money, which, of course, nobody ever does in government, but for the one-way drivers, you could put the one-way driver warning on the sign, the don't boil the pudding warning, and the don't touch button on the same sign.
Yeah, that would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I guess it's my fault. I think it's their fault for having a button that throws us off the air.
The ultimate kill switch.
Yeah, it was. Thank you, Bill.
You bet.
Yeah. And we were talking right before the news, we were talking about the red light cameras in New Jersey, how the accidents are up, rear end accidents are up. They're also finding that, like I said, citations are down. And because the tickets are down, they're losing revenue. And a lot of the towns where they're trying this out, they're dependent upon the revenue. So now it's kind of a mixed blessing. Okay, people aren't going through the red lights, they're stopping, but sometimes they stop too quickly and they get accidents. And then on the other hand, we're losing the revenue because we're not writing the tickets. So if government can somehow figure out a way of making the intersection safer, not write the tickets, but still get you to pay that money that they were looking for, they would do that. They haven't figured that out yet. But I'm sure they're working on it. They're always working on something. Yesterday we had Lou Dobbs on the show, and he was talking regulations, and how it affects government and, people's lives and businesses and stuff. And he mentioned the drilling, and you can have 1 million jobs if you did this, that, whatever. And I just kind of threw in a story that I saw up in San Francisco. Right on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge is Marin County. And there's a lot of fish and stuff up there. It's a lot of water. You've been up there, you know what I'm talking about. They had this oyster farmer. This company has been up on the Point Reyes seashore area, the company for almost 100 years. And the guy that owns it now bought it about 10 years ago, and it's on public land, and they have a lease, a federal lease. Some of the leases, there's other people that do different things in that area, whether it's with cattle or stuff. And they may have a 40-year lease, they may have a 20-year lease, or whatever. So anyway, the environmentalists, a whole bunch of different groups, they wanted to get the oyster stuff out of there because they want to get it back to what it was 300 years ago. And so when this guy's lease was up, which is up like yesterday, they said, we want him out. When they did this study that shows, it's bad, this thing would be bad for the environment. Well, it turns out the study was really fixed. They had it. They had the premise that this guy and the oysters were bad for the environment, so they did everything in the study to show that this guy was bad for the environment. But it turns out when they ran everything by the Academy of Science, National Academy of Sciences, and plus the inspector auditor for the Interior Department, they says no, the people at the National Park Service who put this stupid study together that said this guy was bad, should be out, was wrong. So this guy gets Senator Dianne Feinstein, who's a Democrat, a far left Democrat, and she's a senior senator from California. She got involved, and she says, "No, what? We got to keep this guy here with the oysters. Got to keep him here. He's not doing anything wrong. It was bad. It was bad science. Where have you heard that term before?" But Salazar, the Interior Secretary, Thursday made the decision. Nope, this guy's got to go. This guy employs 30 different people. 30. They have the little houses right on this land. Well, they're going to lose their houses, and they're losing their jobs. This guy harvests every year 460,000 pounds of oysters. Now, I don't like oysters. I don't eat oysters. I have no inclination to have oysters. But it's a business. And it's sustainable, and that's a big deal out in California. And he provides 460,000 pounds of oysters, which is about 40% of what California produces. So that's a lot of oysters. And what the environmentalists now, they're just thrilled that this guy's closing shop because they don't like the oysters that he raises. They're not the native oysters. I couldn't tell an oyster from a hole in the ground. But the people up in that area are all upset. They claim this is like the government run amok. You know, the government, they decide what they want to do, and they just go ahead and do it. And it doesn't matter that there's going to be people out of work. It doesn't matter that the Dianne Feinstein, she's one of them. You know, if it was a Republican, you go, well, yeah, the Republicans hate the environment. Yeah, of course they want to keep the guy. But she's as left as you can go, and she doesn't think he should go. And at what point do we just go back and put our Earth back the way it was 100, 200, 300 years ago? You can't do it. You can try. You can spend a lot of money doing it. But how pristine does it have to be? And here's the part that I just love. And anybody's going to call up and say, well, he should have known the contract was going to end. His lease was going to end. He should have thought of this. You know, when they have leases, a lot of times they get renewed. And in this case, he thought it was going to be renewed. There are 5 to 10 million juvenile oysters out in the bay that over the course of to get them up to, you know, where they'd be big enough to eat and go to market would be another year or 2 years. Well, they want him to take those out now, which means there's going to be a mass killing of 5 to 10 million juvenile oysters. And the government's response to this was, as you would say, he should have known this was going to happen. It's not our fault. Think about that. So all that money for the oysters, that's just down the drain, out the ocean, so to speak. But they don't care. They just don't care. Greg in Brookfield. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, Jake. How you doing?
What's up?
This is crazy. I mean, this is what we voted for. This is what this country voted for. And this ridiculousness extended through Republican administrations, too. But the environmentalists are killing us. They're killing us with nuclear energy. They're killing us with drilling. They're killing us with fracking. I'm all for safe energy. I honestly believe that we need to clean up coal. We need to clean up oil. We need to preserve the earth. We need to make things sustainable for future generations. But why we're not going nuclear, I don't know. And you're killing jobs. These environmentalists are killing jobs, like you pointed out. This is government run amok. This is lobbying run amok. It's killing the country slowly but surely. You're seeing the dependency of more and more people on a smaller amount and smaller percentage of people. And I just don't know what the answer is. And
it's very frustrating. When you read the story, it's like, again, if this was a Republican senator or congressman making the case, but this is Dianne Feinstein, is far left. She's friends with all the environmental people, and she's the one who says the National Park Service, who did the study that says he should leave, their study was wrong.
It's incredible how special interests have grabbed a hold of this country by the throat. Another irony was yesterday, another story ran about E15, about being damaging cars and how certain car companies aren't going to honor warranties if it damages your car. It's all about lobbying. It's all about special interests. It's all about corn-based ethanol. It's all about the special interests are killing this country. I mean, and it's going fast.
Well, yeah, that whole ethanol thing is, that we're burning food for fuel, and it's driving the cost of corn up, and it's making it difficult for farmers that want to raise pigs and stuff like that. They can't afford the feed because the costs are so high.
Absolutely. I mean, when the corn rates went up really high, corn increased the white corn increased in Mexico. The cascading effect of these small little ideas and small little kernels of the betterment of society have ripple effects that extend all the way through the economy.
Yep.
And special interests are killing the greater good of most of the people in this country.
Well, just in this case, the cost of oysters in California is going to go up since this place provided 40% of California's oyster crop.
Why does anybody live in that state? I don't get it.
Thank you, Greg.
All right.
Yeah, it is nutty. It is nutty. And I just bring the story to show you, here's a small little picture of how things work in Washington. Magnify this by 1,000,000, and that's how bad things are. 7:51, back right after this.
89 WLS.
Your bedroom end table is an important place. Where else can your alarm clock, cell phone, and pictures of your significant other all fit? Now it's even more important. That's because the nursing and business programs at Olivet Nazarene University's School of Graduate and Continuing Studies are now available online. That means your end table can become your classroom. Just don't doze off during class. Learn more. Call 877-9-OLIVET. That's 877-9-OLIVET. Or visit graduate.olivet.edu.
Soon this little baby I'm singing to sleep will start to walk. First, she'll crawl. Then take her first baby steps. Before I know it, I'll be dropping her off at school. I'll be watching her run down a soccer field, staying up all night waiting for her to get home from her first date, wincing when she steps on the gas pedal and then the brakes, beaming when she walks up to accept her diploma, or holding back tears as she takes those big steps down the aisle. But before she takes all those steps, she and thousands like her will need you to take yours. Gather your family, friends, and co-workers and join March for Babies to help make her steps possible. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
So glad we left that stupid party.
No joke.
Hey, baby, are you an overdue library book? Because you got fine written all over you.
Oh, barf. What about that girl with the hoop earrings?
Ridiculous. When she was dancing...
Megan, look out. Look out!
Oh, my God, Becky. Becky, are you okay? My arm. I think it's broken. Can you bend it? It's already bent. In the wrong direction. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry. I only had a few drinks. I was just buzzed.
Really? Just buzzed?
Yeah, I swear.
Well, in that case, my arm is fine. Ah, that's better.
You're really okay? You're serious, Becky?
No, genius. I'm not serious.
Ow! My arm, it hurts.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
Do you know where to find your vehicle's recommended tire pressure? Did you say on the tire? Ooh, sorry. Think again. The best place to find the recommended tire pressure is on a sticker, usually located inside the driver's door, or check the owner's manual. Driving on underinflated tires can cause excess heat buildup, and that can cause tire damage and even tire failure. Make sure you check your tire pressure at least once a month and before long trips. It will save you money at the gas pump and keep you safe. A message from the Rubber Manufacturers Association.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone.
Okay, think. Where'd you have them last?
I was home, then I spent them on that vacation in this tiny suit of armor. Now they're gone.
Weird. Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. Oh, I broke his little gauntlet.
Oh, no.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
How's your lunch?
Good, Dad, but not as good as the sandwiches you used to make.
Really?
Sure. Remember how you'd melt the cheese first and dry the pickles on a paper towel so they didn't make the bread soggy? Oh, and then you'd cut it into 4 pieces with no crust?
I did all that.
Geez, Dad. How would anyone forget something like that?
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever. So take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In 1987, some inner-city first graders were promised a college education. Now, this promise didn't come from a wealthy corporation. It came from Oral Lee Brown, who saved a large portion of her modest income every year for these children.
She told Miss Brown, you can't do everything. I said, no, but we need to do more.
And she did more by sending 19 kids to college, helping others pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
89 WLS is everywhere you are. Connect with the WLS AM app on your smartphone. Listen live online and catch up on Newsmaker podcasts at WLSAM.com.
Chicago's talk leader, 89 WLS, on the air and on iHeartRadio.
You give your hand to me, and then you say hello. And that we met before, about 3 years ago.
We'll just enjoy this as we say goodbye.
But it's a pack of lies. 'Cause I don't know you.
Oh, we're just playing roulette with the vault now, aren't we, guys?
You say you got me.
I'm going to keep my finger on the shut the transmitter off button in case I have to. Guy's just going to get me in trouble. I'm out of here now. I'm done. It's time to leave. Paul Bryan coming up with Drive Chicago for the next hour. He'll be here in a few minutes. And then I'll be back with John Cass Monday morning, 9 o'clock, right here, right after Bruce and Dan, who are in for Don in Roma. On 89 WLS. Hope you have a nice weekend. It's beautiful weather. Don't forget the motorcycle Toys for Tots tomorrow, all up and down Western Avenue. Have a good weekend.
This ball game will be over.
89 WLS.
Do you feel tired or run down? Is a lack of energy making you feel old? It's not your fault. You could be one of the millions of Americans who aren't getting enough magnesium in your diet. If this sounds like you, you're invited to call for a risk-free trial of MagnaBoost, an exclusive formula clinically shown to help increase magnesium levels. With MagnaBoost, you can feel more energy again, energy that lasts all day long. Best of all, when compared to other magnesium products, MagnaBoost is clinically shown to absorb better in your body. MagnaBoost works, and you won't find this formula anywhere else. Call to try MagnaBoost risk-free. Just call 1-800-853-1208. That's 1-800-853-1208. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Just call 1-800-853-1208. That's 1-800-853-1208.
This is my campsite.
These are our hunting grounds.
These are the trees in my neighborhood. I promise to protect these trees.
The emerald ash borer beetle kills trees. It lives in firewood.
I promise not to move firewood.
Never move firewood.
Will you promise me?
The emerald ash borer beetle lives in firewood. Moving just one piece can unleash destruction. Get the full story and promise you won't move firewood at stopthebeetle.info. A message from the USDA.
You have connections in the government, and there's no telling where they can take you. USA.gov, your official source for all government info. Who knows? Student loan and job hunting tips today could lead to retirement planning tomorrow. USA.gov.
Dear Honda, thanks for giving my boyfriend Jake a great deal during your Happy Honda Days sales event. He said it's the perfect time to get a new Civic. It could be because the dealers are giving great deals on new Civics, but I think it means he's ready to pop the question. Plus, with the money he saved, I'm thinking giant rock. Love, Shelly Evans, Nay Brown.
More happiness with every Honda during the Happy Honda Day sales event. Now's the time to get a great deal like 0.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers on the 2012 Civic. Visit your Honda dealer today. See dealer for financing details.
One station making history every day. The Fighting Irish sit atop the heap in college football.
He goes a distance, and he sets the ball down in the end zone. Who is that masked man? It is Stephon Tuitt, and he scores a touchdown.
Notre Dame, a perfect season.
What a magnificent play by Reese.